How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the House of Horror. And you know, something I never really got into were those ghost hunting shows. I always thought they were really corny and stupid, but that was until I found Buzzfeed Unsolved. The thing that really makes this show so great is the dynamic between the two hosts. On one side, we have Ryan, a firm believer in ghosts and the supernatural, and on the other side, we have Shane, who thinks it's all bullshit. But nevertheless, the two of them must work together and explore some of the most haunted places in the world. Today, we're going to be looking at my top 10 favorite episodes of Buzzfeed Unsolved Supernatural. These are the ones that I think are the most fun, funny, and are the best made and scariest episodes out of the bunch. I'm not going to be going super in-depth about the episodes here because I would rather you just watch the episodes yourself, and I don't want to give anything away. And plus, most of the episodes are between 15 minutes and a half hour, so they're really not that hard to get through. One thing to note is that the series is still going on, so obviously if an episode hasn't come out yet, it's not going to be on this list. At the time of this recording, the latest episode to be released was about the Old City Jail, so anything that came out after that is obviously not going to be on the list. And of course, we're just talking about the supernatural episodes, so nothing from the true crime series is going to be here either. But if that is something you guys would want to see, maybe I'll do a list about that in the future. Again, these are just my opinions, and I would love to hear what you guys think down in the comments below, so let me know what your favorite episode of Buzzfeed Unsolved is. Since this is only a top 10, before we get started, I do have a few honorable mentions. Episodes like the Lizzie Borden house, the Bel Air's house, and Hannah's house are all really good. Of course, you gotta check out all the episodes about aliens. You know I love my aliens. And their Mothman episode is pretty decent, but just remember that my Mothman video came out first. Anyway, let's get started with number 10. First up, we've got the Haunting Shadows of the St. Augustine Lighthouse. This episode just came out a couple weeks ago, but I have the feeling it's going to be sticking around for a while. Or maybe it's just because I have the movie The Lighthouse stuck in my brain, but either way, this episode's really great. They capture some of the best evidence that they've ever gotten before in this episode, and since it's so new, I really don't want to spoil anything, so go check it out.
Oh my god, I'm panicking.
Coming in at number 9 is the Captive Spirits of Eastern State Penitentiary. This creepy prison used to hold inmates in solitary confinement with no contact to the outside world, and they were also subject to various forms of torture. The most notorious inmate that was held at Eastern State was Scarface himself, Al Capone, who was himself haunted by spirits inside his cell. So yeah, we've got spirits that were haunted by spirits. This episode actually gathers quite a bit of evidence with the spirit box, and out of all the times they've used it, this is easily one of the most convincing and compelling. And all around, this episode is just plain creepy. Not too much to say here, just a really solid episode that all of you should check out.
Somebody down here?
For number 8, we're looking at the Dauphine Orleans Hotel and Voodoo New Orleans. So yeah, I'm cheating a little bit here and lumping these two episodes together because it's basically a two-parter, since they were both shot in New Orleans at the same time. Part 1 is the haunted Dauphine Orleans Hotel, which used to be a brothel for Confederate soldiers. We explore the backstory of a haunted bride and the mysterious bordello suite. And to close out this episode, the boys actually stay the night in one of the haunted hotel rooms.
Are we doing more of this, or can I use the jacuzzi hot tub?
The jets don't work.
The second part deals with the world of voodoo, and I don't know about you, but I find all this stuff really fascinating. We learn the history and origins of this actually very positive practice, which has gotten quite the bad rap over the years. They meet up with Bloody Mary, the current voodoo queen of New Orleans, who opens up a gate for the spirits to run loose inside of the voodoo temple. Both of these episodes are incredibly entertaining, hilarious, and they've actually got quite a few pieces of compelling evidence. These episodes are great to watch anytime, but they're the perfect ones to watch around Mardi Gras.
I stole them off the woman who died on the Titanic!
For number 7, we've got the Spirits of the Whaley House. The Whaley House was actually ranked by the Travel Channel as the most haunted house in America.
Number 1?
Number 1.
Top of the pops?
We're going to the top dog.
It's been said that there's a spiritual vortex on the premises, as well as a ghost cat and a ghost dog, which you don't really hear of too often. We also learn about the spirit of Yankee Jim, a criminal who was hanged to death where the house would eventually be built. Again, there's not too much to say without giving anything away, so just take my word for it and go check it out.
Oh my god.
For number 6, we're talking about the haunted halls of Waverly Hills Hospital. What do I even need to say? It's a creepy tuberculosis hospital, and it even features a body chute where they would dispose of what else? Dead bodies. This one has some of the scariest moments out of all the episodes, and is one of the few times we actually see Shane get spooked. There's quite a bit of compelling evidence here, but there's also one that I'm not so sure about. I won't go into much detail here, but there's a part where there's a ball bouncing down a hallway, and I don't know, I think it could have been easily faked. I'm not saying that they were faking, I'm just saying it's a little fishy. For me though, it does keep it from ranking a bit higher on my list. Because other than that, it's one of the very best and classic episodes of the show, full of laughs and scares.
This is why I didn't want to do it, because I knew you weren't going to believe me. This is bullshit.
For number 5, it's the Ghosts and Demons of Bobby Mackey's. Bobby Mackey's is allegedly the most haunted bar in America, and has been said to house a portal to hell. So yeah, it's pretty easy to believe that this would be the most haunted bar in America.
Turn it on if you want to hurt us.
Fucking shit.
This episode is probably most well known for its meme, which I didn't even realize would become a meme at the time. But since then, it's really taken on a life of its own. There's nothing else left to say except...
Hey there, demons. It's me, your boy.
For number 4, it's the haunted decks of the Queen Mary. This was formerly a luxury cruise ship, twice the size of the Titanic even. But when World War II happened, it was repurposed to transport troops and POWs. Many former crew members, captains, and passengers died on board, and it even crashed into another ship, killing about 300 crew members. Ryan himself actually had paranormal experiences there when he was in high school, and he vowed to never return to the ship until now. He and Shane explore some of the best hotspots on the ship, such as the boiler room and a makeshift prison called the isolation room. They were also the first people to sleep in the most haunted room in the cabin, since it was condemned and shut down over 25 years ago. This is easily one of the best episodes of the show, and it's the perfect fit for my number 4.
My fucking heart almost exploded, dude.
Your heart-on exploded?
What?
Coming in at number 3 is the demonic Goatman's Bridge. What's there to say? It's the Goatman! The thing that truly makes this episode so great is that the boys really let their personalities loose, and Shane in particular goes completely off the rails.
Goat man, I'm dancing on your bridge. It's my bridge now.
Holy shit.
You hear that?
And Ryan's reactions to it are great as well. He plays a really good straight man to balance out Shane's absurdity, which is why I really think these two are such a great comedic duo. Besides this, any episode that deals with demonic presences are always good, and this is by far one of the best. The bridge has a past of satanic rituals and sacrifices being performed on it, and Ryan and Shane actually use a Ouija board themselves in order to try to make contact with the Goatman. This episode is just a really great one, and it's absolutely essential viewing.
They're gonna put my name in graffiti.
Oh my god. Okay.
Children will come here and tell tales of me.
Coming in at number 2, we've got the harrowing hunt for Bigfoot. We gotta have some Bigfoot action on the list. Again, for me, the best factor of this show is their personalities. And this episode really shows a lot of the slice of life moments that I enjoy. Like going to get a Bigfoot burger and just the little adventures of staying at the Bigfoot Hotel and going to museums before they get into the forest.
This is the heaviest sandwich I've ever embraced.
I think I may need to go to the hospital.
We also get treated to Ryan's ridiculous outfit, Shane's interesting Bigfoot calls, and we get to meet this little guy.
His name is Cedric. He struck me as a Cedric when I first saw him.
In general, this episode just has a different type of vibe. It takes place during the day, it seems more laid back, and it actually has the unique distinction where Shane is actually a big believer and Ryan is the one that isn't so sure. So the tables have actually turned around here. I love this episode, I love Bigfoot, so it's the perfect pick for my number 2 spot. But for number 1, it's obviously 3 horrifying cases of ghosts and demons. Although it wasn't the very first episode of the show, this is where it really became the show that we all know and love. This episode just has it all. As the title would suggest, it features 3 terrifying locations that take the team across the US and to Mexico. We start off at the Winchester Mystery House, which is essentially just a giant mansion full of dead ends, stairs that lead to nowhere, and doors that open to several story drops. Next, we head down to Mexico for the haunted Island of the Dolls, which features what else? Thousands and thousands of creepy and decomposing dolls all over the place.
This is also his favorite doll right here.
Okay, I don't care what his favorite. Fuck that. Let's go.
Lastly, the boys head out to the Sally house, which is where they have their first demonic encounter. And it's here that they capture some of the best evidence of something otherworldly. Again, this episode really shows a lot of the boys' personalities, and it's a great introduction to the show.
You're out of your mind.
Rock and roll, buckaroo!
If you could only watch one episode, it would have to be this one. Even several years after it first came out, and a plethora of episodes that followed it, this one is still the best one by a mile. And I think everyone pretty much agrees, including the hosts themselves. So next time you're home alone on a dark and stormy night, watch a few episodes of Buzzfeed Unsolved Supernatural. Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to opinion. So trying to find the definitive best episode of the bunch will always remain unsolved. Well, that is about it for this time, guys. I hope you enjoyed my top 10 episodes of Buzzfeed Unsolved. Again, these are just my opinions on what the best episodes are, and I would love to know what your favorites are, so let me know down in the comments below. And let me know in the future if you'd like to see a top 10 list of my top 10 favorite true crime episodes. But until then, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new episode of the House of Horror. And if you were to give this video a thumbs up and share it with a friend, it would be greatly appreciated. Well, that is it for this time, guys. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode of the House of Horror, and as always, take care and stay spooky.
All right, see you later, dudes.